So in this video, I'm going to talk about how salvation is not a gift. Where until you understand what salvation is, you will never understand this. And I know it sounds heretical that salvation is not a gift, but the problem with the word salvation is that people equate it to eternal life. But salvation is prior to coming into eternal life. So watch this video because this video is going to build off of this understanding. Where then again, another problem is thinking that faith is a gift. Faith is not a gift. Faith is a work. Faith is a wrestle. It is something we guard. It is something we athlete in. Where the misinterpretation of Ephesians 2:8 is easy to overcome when we understand the syntax of the Greek words here. The word faithing is parsed in the feminine gender, and then the pronoun here, this, not out of you, is in the neuter gender. So the neuter pronoun cannot modify a feminine noun. So this, not out of you, is not referring to faith as a gift. So let's read this carefully. For in grace, this is a key word. Grace is a gift. Here's gift. For in grace, you are having been saved through faith. And this grace, gift, okay, neuter. N-E, neuter, not faith, the gift, is not out of you, not out of works. Paul is talking about the works of the law of righteousness, where now we have to understand the grace and the gift that Paul is referring to here is righteousness. Romans 5:17, the gift of righteousness as opposed to a law of righteousness. Romans 9:31. And right after I made this video, what is salvation? I made this video. It is finished talking about this very thing. So watch this video also, because understanding what salvation is and what it's not, and understanding the difference between the gift of righteousness, which is the grace of God, and a law of righteousness, we will never understand how salvation is also not a gift. So when we see the word grace accompanying the word saved or safeguarding, salvation, you have to remember that the gift of grace is righteousness. So here in Acts 2:40 or Acts 15:11, we read, but through the grace of the Lord, which is a gift of righteousness, not a law, not through the law, we will faith. Now this word here with the E on the end is a verb. This is action. Faith is action. It's not a free gift. We will faith to be saved. So this goes right back to Ephesians 2:8. For in grace, which is the gift of righteousness, you are having been saved through faith. So, and this not out of you, not out of works of the law of righteousness, but it's now according to the gift of righteousness, which is the grace here. So we are having been saved through faith, which is not the gift. This is why being saved is not a gift either. Again, watch this video, because when we understand that salvation is being saved and guarded prior to taking the gift of eternal life, which is also according to a reward as to when one takes it, because there's orders of taking it, we see that we fetch ourselves the finishing of our faith. So faith is something that we're fetching a finishing of. It's not a gift. It's a work. It's a wrestle. It's an abiding, it's a proving, it's a confirming, it's athleting. So we're fetching the finishing of our faithing, the safeguarding of souls, which we are saved through faithing. But faithing is not a gift, and safeguarding is not a gift. So again, through the grace gift of righteousness, we faith to be saved. Faith is a verb of action. We wrestle, we athlete, we work to be saved. For in grace, the gift of righteousness, you are having been saved through faith. It says the same thing. It's the same exact thing. We will faith to be saved, Acts 15:11. For in grace you are having been saved through faith, where we have to establish that faith is not the gift. It can't be. It's not out of the works of the law. It's no longer out of the law of righteousness. Ephesians 2:5. In grace you are having been saved. If it wasn't for the gift of righteousness, none of us would be saved, because the law of righteousness couldn't save anybody. See? Verse 8. For in the grace, gift of God, imputed righteousness, you are having been saved through faith now. So we can be saved now through faith, which the law of righteousness, which was a debt, could never save us. So to the working one, according to the law of righteousness, the reward is not reckoned according to grace, but according to debt, where we see a reward, which also is not a gift. Video 148.